Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy, and welcome if you are new here. In today's video, I am going to be talking about something called Swedish Death Cleaning. And I know that I have mentioned this in passing on my channel before, but I kind of wanted to talk about it more in depth because I recently read the book. This is what it looks like. And the title is The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, How to Free Yourself and Your Family from a Lifetime of Clutter. And I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the author's name. She is from Sweden, so she has somewhat of an unusual name, but I'll show you that again. But I've heard other YouTubers talk about this book and I've been really curious about it. So I decided to go ahead and purchase it myself and read it for myself. It definitely is something that resonates with me. Obviously, she's talking about decluttering, and if you've been around here for even 1 minute, then you know that that is definitely something I am all about. But I wanted to share with you the benefits of Swedish death cleaning and also just some tips that she gives throughout her book on how to go about doing this. But before I get into the benefits and some tips on how to do it, I just wanted to explain to you what Swedish death cleaning is if you have never heard of this idea. Basically, it is when you get to be older in age, which I guess is somewhat subjective. You should start going through your belongings and making sure that all of your belongings are kind of organized and minimized as much as possible before you pass away. That way your children or your family members don't have a ton of stuff to deal with when you pass away. It's already a very stressful time when you lose a parent or a family member, and so to have to go through mountains of things around their house, I'm sure would be an overwhelming task. I have not had to do that yet, so I can't even imagine, but I know it would be challenging. But I wanted to read you a quote from her book that I thought summed it up well. Death cleaning is not about dusting or mopping up. It is about a permanent form of organization that makes sure everyday life run more smoothly. And I think her point also was, as we age, it's more difficult to take care of our things. It's more difficult to clean and organize and manage all of our things. So as we age, it's good to just downsize and let go of things so that we have less to manage. So as I was reading her book, I saw 3 main benefits from practicing death cleaning. And the first benefit is just really facing up to your mortality and acknowledging that when you pass away, everything that you own is going to have to be taken care of by someone else, whether that's your children or maybe other family members or even friends. Just acknowledging that your stuff will be someone else's burden when you leave this world is just a good thing to think about and ponder. In addition to that, you get this kind of death cleaning mindset. Once you start decluttering a lot of your items, you just start kind of not wanting to bring more items into your home. So you have this mindset of how can I reuse things and recycle things instead of always purchasing new things and bringing new things into your home. The third benefit, and it kind of goes along with reusing and recycling things, is also not bringing things into your home, but instead of purchasing things that you find beautiful and you would like to have in your home because they're beautiful to you, just enjoying them and appreciating them in the store, but being able to walk away and not to have to bring them into your home. Next, I wanted to move on to some tips that I was able to learn from reading her book on death cleaning. And the first tip is to not start with sentimental items. And this is actually a tip if you know, I'm sure you do. Most people know Marie Kondo, you know, the Spark Joy lady. She also suggests not starting with sentimental items, and I myself also encourage clients to not start with sentimental items because it can really slow you down and trip you up, and you don't get that momentum that you could get going, because sentimental items definitely are really challenging to declutter. Obviously, they're hard to let go of because of your heart. You just really want to hold on to things that are meaningful to you. But if you start with kind of easier items that you don't have a sentimental attachment to, it can give you that momentum you need. The next tip is that it's never too early to start decluttering and organizing your home, because death cleaning is so much easier when your home is already organized. So just because you're not nearing the end of your life, or what you think might be the end of your life, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be decluttering and organizing your spaces. I have found over the years that if I stay on top of decluttering, that it makes it a lot easier moving forward. You don't have like piles and piles of stuff to take to donation centers because you're staying on top of it on a regular basis. The next tip is to take your time. So I really believe in this for sure. I think it's important to take your time when you're decluttering your spaces. It can be really overwhelming to declutter everything at once, and obviously there are some situations where this may happen, whether it's an unexpected move or maybe it is a death in the family and you have to go through their things very quickly. But typically it's better to do things just a little bit at a time. It just helps you to not feel so overwhelmed. The next tip is to declutter those private items that you don't want your kids or your family members finding after you pass away. Use your imagination on this one, but I will give you somewhat of a clean example. I was going through some old journals that I found of mine when I was decluttering my closet one time, and I was reading through some of the journals from when I was in middle school and high school, and I felt like they were just very angst-ridden, and I thought to myself, I don't really want to read this again, nor do I want my children to read through these thoughts and feelings that I had that were negative. So I decided to just go ahead and dispose of those, but I'm sure there are all kinds of private things, maybe letters or whatever it might be for you that you would prefer your children or your family members to not find after you pass away. Another tip that I grabbed from this book was, and I have said this so many times before on my channel, it is okay to declutter gifts. You certainly can't keep every gift that was ever given to you until the end of your life. It's just unreasonable. But I really loved this quote from her book that made a lot of sense to me, and I wanted to share it with you. It says, "I will never feel guilty for not keeping presents forever. To be grateful and happy for a present when you first receive it is something different, because that gratitude is not connected to the thing itself, but to the giver who gave it to you." And I thought that that was such a great thought. When you receive a gift, it's not really about the gift, it's more about the thought behind the person giving you the gift. The next tip is to save photos for last. And obviously in this day and age, a lot of our photos are digitized, and so it might be a little bit easier to declutter those photos. But I, even myself, have a lot of physical photos, and she suggested leaving it for last because if you don't get to it, I guess, before you die, that area is not a terrible thing for family members to have to go through. Sometimes it's even enjoyable to be able to reminisce and go through old pictures, especially after someone has passed. So it's just a wise idea to just save photos for last. And again, those are kind of like sentimental items as well. So if you deal with everything else first, that is the best way to go. The last tip that I got from reading this book is to have a throwaway box. And I think this is such a great idea because items that you find important or sentimental may not be important or sentimental to your kids. Maybe they don't care about that special stuffed animal teddy bear that you have, or maybe some letters or cards from friends that the words are meaningful and sentimental to you, but not necessarily to your children or family members. Well, I hope this video was inspiring to you in some way, that these benefits of death cleaning and these tips were helpful to you. If you are interested in purchasing this book, I can leave the link down in my description box below so you can easily find it. It is a very quick and easy read. I actually read it in one day, so it's definitely an easy read, but it's quite interesting. She's pretty entertaining too. I definitely was laughing in a few spots, so you will definitely enjoy it. But thank you so much for watching this video until the end, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.